Chapter 5. Triggers and Cycles. Why do so many people struggle with pornography addiction? Is it merely an obsessive interest in seeing people have sex or to see sexually provocative images? As humans, one of our strongest drives is the sex drive. As men, we are biologically drawn to women primarily by their physical appearance. It's what has allowed the human race to endure for thousands of years. So it's not like we can just turn off this drive. It will always be with us. Therefore, it becomes a question of how we navigate and control this drive. There are many ideas out there about how to do this, and we will get into how to create an effective plan. To start, we will look at two key principles in understanding this behavior. The first principle is triggers. Most of us connect the word trigger to a gun. It's the lever that's pulled in order to let off a shot. So the trigger is critical for the gun to do its intended purpose. Similarly, our lives are filled with emotional triggers. Usually fueled by an unknown, unhealed trauma, triggers get pulled by a situation, words, or action that unconsciously brings us to that previous trauma. The ensuing reaction can be strong, acute, and without conscious thought. If you've experienced abuse, abandonment, or other psychologically damaging moments, triggers can be very delicate and very easy to pull. If you haven't been taught or trained how to deal with them in a healthy way, the resulting behavior can lead to devastating consequences: intense anger, withdrawal from relationships, toxic patterns in relationships, and more. Emotional pain is shared by everyone who has lived. No one can escape it, so it becomes a question of how we deal with it. The second principle helps us to understand how we deal with this emotional pain. They are respectively called the addiction cycle and the recovery cycle. Both cycles begin the same way, with said emotional pain. Any unpleasant feelings will start the cycle. It doesn't matter if you know what it is or even aware of it. We are designed to react to these feelings. The most common way is to act on it. The purpose of the acting out is to experience relief from the current pain, and it does provide relief for a time. Unfortunately, that relief usually comes from a dangerous, unhealthy, or selfish place, such as drugs, alcohol, and yes, pornography, but any behavior can do the same thing. Once those feelings come and go, we are left with a feeling of guilt, regret, shame, and remorse. In our right minds, no one wants to act in this way, but we can't deny how wonderful the feeling is, and our brains take special note of this. So even if we want to change and do better, that feeling will last only as long as the next time we experience emotional pain, which completes the cycle. This cycle will very easily repeat itself with nothing to stop it, becoming more difficult to overcome with each completion of the cycle. This explains why addiction is so difficult to overcome, especially porn addiction. But there is a very powerful alternative to this: the recovery cycle. This cycle acknowledges the truth of the pain we are carrying, but unlike the addiction cycle, which is dealt with in the darkness, unknown to anyone, the recovery cycle brings it to light for others to see. We instead share the pain we're going through with people we know and trust. What happens afterwards is truly amazing. We receive the very things we need in that moment: love, compassion, acceptance, validation, hope, and forgiveness. Put another way, we receive fellowship. When we receive this, we are not dealing with regret or shame or remorse. Rather, we receive power to deal with our emotional pain in a different way, a much better way. When you experience this cycle repeatedly, you will no longer act out as an addict, but as one recovering his God-given purpose of how we were meant to be, which not only benefits you, but those around you. So triggers caused by emotional pain doesn't have to put your life on a path to ruin. Rather, it can open the door for greater, deeper, and more fulfilling relationships that will help you not only overcome porn addiction, but put you on a path of freedom and fulfillment as God has desired for you from the very beginning? Which cycle do you want to follow? Have a blessed day.